Represents the 17th district. That's Sunnyvale, Santa Clara, Cupertino, Fremont, essentially the bulk of the Silicon Valley. Congressman from Washington, D.C., thanks for joining us this evening. Nice to have you back on the program. Let me just say this. From our perspective, my perspective here, this whole thing is a mess. Do you agree with that?
Raj, unfortunately, I do. There hasn't been sufficient testing. I mean, we've known about COVID now for 2 years. Why is it that we can't get at least one test for every family per week like they're doing in England?
Last month on this very program, Congressman, we had a COVID specialist, one of the many from UC Berkeley. She said she expects this surge, a crisis point, in mid-January. She said it very clearly. We saw this coming. Why are we so slow to why are we dragging our feet on this?
Well, we shouldn't have been. I mean, Senator Sanders and I had called a year ago for the Defense Production Act to have masks and to have N95 masks for everyone. We've been calling for testing and universal testing, and we've just reiterated that with our letter to the administration. I think there was candidly complacency. People didn't think that Delta would happen, that Omicron would happen, but all of the experts have warned us that these variants are going to continue to affect us, and there's probably going to be another variant after Omicron. So we need to ramp up on the production of masks, on the production of testing, and on the Pfizer pill. That's a cure. In other words, it prevents severe death and hospitalization. It would literally save lives, and yet we're sort of 6 months out on that, and it isn't widely available to every American.
Final question. You also announced today, you alongside Senator Bernie Sanders, that asking for free KN95 masks. How would that rollout look like, and where's that money coming from? Also from the federal government?
From the federal government. It's not that expensive. A lot of other countries do it. Basically, let's send 3 masks per American right away, and then let's have these masks available at CVS, at Walgreens, at your local healthcare center. I mean, look, I understand that it's very hard to have the Pfizer pill, the cure, but come on, masks and testing in the greatest country, the greatest economy, we can't provide every American with masks. It's absurd to see people lined up in the heart of Silicon Valley to get a mask or to get tests. I mean, that has to change. We have to do better.
Coming to work today, I saw long lines just to get tested. I agree. It's amazing that it's happening here. Is this all realistic? We can talk about this and talk about big flowery situations where we get masks, we get tests sent home to us, but will this happen in 2, 3, 4 weeks from now?
Roger, right to be skeptical, because the response for 2 years hasn't been quite up to par. We're doing everything we can to tell the administration they have to do this. Ultimately, it's up to the president to declare the Defense Production Act and use it, and to have purchase agreements with the producers of these tests and masks. So we're going to advocate as hard as we can. And, you know, this idea that, well, we'll be past the Omicron peak, maybe we will, but we ought to not go flat-footed on the next variant.
Congressman Khanna from Washington, D.C., thanks for your time tonight.
Always a pleasure, Raj.